Chris Jones smokes Philip Rivers right back at the 40.
He's not banking on the skill that he's been blessed with.
It's a Kelsey, great catch, touchdown, Kansas City.
Trouble flings it across his body, and it's caught by Hill. Hill has it. He came back
30, he's up to 20. Dirty Dan, all the way to the end zone.
The Coliseum opened September the 18th, 1966. There have been so many great games between the Raiders and Chiefs down through the years. But the last scheduled game here belongs to the Chiefs as our Chiefs Rewind show celebrates a 28-10 victory over the Raiders. Mitch Holthus with you along with Shawn Barber. But let's talk about the first quarter. Raiders came out confident, as expected, after their Monday night win, and they jumped on the Chiefs with both feet.
It was rough for the Chiefs early on. I think Coach Gruden, his first 15 plays was something that was he had planned for. He had his guys in the right position to make the right plays, kind of put our defense on our heels for a minute. But once we got beyond that, beyond those first 15 plays, it allows our defense a little breath to take a deep breath, regain our composure, and then make it a game beyond then.
We're going to get to offense in a second, believe me. But sometimes a single play, you played in this league for 10 years, a single play can flip a game. Kendall Fuller's pass broken up to stop their third drive after the Chiefs were on their heels seemed to turn the game 180 degrees.
And we knew that it's a big play because not only did our staff celebrate, but their staff was a little bit uneasy. And they used a challenge to try to get that overturned to keep that drive going. I think early in the game, they knew they had to score really quick, a lot of points to try to keep this game in arm's reach.
We're going to talk to Brashad Breeland later in the show. He had a huge pick later. There were 8 different Chiefs that I counted on defense that made significant plays at all 3 levels. It was a great sign. But we've got to talk about the second quarter. One of the greatest quarters in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards, Barbershop in a quarter.
I've never seen anything like that. 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards in 1 quarter. I mean, our defense was smoking. The offense was, he was hitting on all cylinders. We had guys opening up the seam routes down, and there were a few plays he missed on that. That could have actually been a 35-point quarter if everything hit on all cylinders.
And a 72-yard touchdown in the second half got called back. He might have had 600 yards. But the long plays, Demarcus Robinson, we're going to talk with him also later in the show. But for him to get free and to get that 44-yarder early, after Fuller had flipped the game defensively, to get that one now did give some discomfort to the enemy sideline.
And I think our wide receiver core definitely stepped up with knowing that Tyreek wasn't going to be available. It was D-Rob, it was Hardman. They knew they was going to play a big role in today's offense. And in the second quarter, both guys really stepped up and made some really great plays for this offense.
And then more fireworks. 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20, 42-yard post to McCole Hardman for his touchdown. Then he just feathers a perfect throw into Kelsey. Then you think, well, maybe they're done for the half. Not. 40 seconds to go, and D-Rob comes back for another big play.
You spoke about Kelsey. One thing Kelsey has been, he's been a Raider killer. He's been able to be matched up against safeties, linebackers, and he just keeps possessing the ball, keeps moving the chain, and he actually gets pay dirt today.
Another hundo for Kelsey in this game, the 3rd straight game against their Oakland Raiders, where he had at least 100 yards in receiving. All right, the Chiefs win it 28-10. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.
All right, just a couple injuries here real quick. Eric Fisher hurt his groin. He had hurt it in practice, tried to go today. Couldn't do it. Cam came in and replaced him. I thought did a nice job there. Damian Williams and McCoy. Williams hurt has a contusion on his right knee, and then McCoy hurt his ankle there a bit. So I think they'll be all right as we go. But I'm proud of our guys. We were down by 10 points there, and for everybody to kind of rally and come back, I thought was a big step. When you come here, you got to be a team, and there's no place in the league more than that. Even though our fans snuck in here, and man, they were great, but and we thank them for taking that chance coming in here. This is a tough place to come into. So, but I was proud of our guys for doing that, rallying it up, and just kind of putting their foot down, saying enough's enough, and getting we grew a little bit today. So, with that, time's yours.
Anything changed from the first quarter to second? It seemed the offense was a bit out of sync, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's about it, Vi. I'm not sure there was. Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying, everybody put their foot down. I thought our defense did that. I thought the offense did it, and they just kind of calmed down and said, "Listen, let's go." And we're, you know, it was they woke us up with 10 points there. So.
And do you recall ever seeing a 95 and 94-yard drives or having uncorked them yourselves twice in a row? And what does that do to the other team?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that was it's a tribute to the players, and you know, guys made some big plays there. And my hat goes off to D-Rob. He had a big day, and there's nobody that epitomizes do your job and don't worry about the results. Don't worry about any credit or anything else. He kind of does all the dirty work, and then he had this day today, which was beautiful. So. My hat goes off to him, and then Patrick had a nice day. I mean, I can go right down the list. I mean, you have a win, and obviously the guys did a nice job.
Andy, what was it about today's game that allowed Robinson to be this week's Sammy Watkins?
Yeah, so he was singled up, and that was really it. So they were concentrating a little bit on Sam. They were concentrating on Kels. And it allowed D-Rob to get out there and make some plays. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, McColl did. It's too bad that last one. That was a zero blitz look. I mean, and Patrick trusted him, which is big right there, just that in itself. I mean, he's a rookie, and he put it out there, and the kid went and got it. We had a penalty on it that brought it back, but the other teams see that, and that's a maximum blitz. I mean, there's one guy that's free, so. And Patrick bought a little time on that. But anyways, I thought all the receivers did a good job. Greg's done a nice job with them, Greg Lewis, of rallying them up and coaching them up. And you know, so I'm proud of them. And they did a nice job. Yeah.
Defense take a step forward this week?
Yeah, defense, they were, I thought they were big today. I mean, real big. You know, that when you come in here, you better be ready to go. I thought John Gruden had a nice plan. I thought Derek Carr really did he played well Monday night and started off well, you know, in this game. And I thought our guys just kind of, you know, again, put the hammer down, as Mitch would say. So.
You mentioned Derek Carr starting the Raiders offense start, scored for 2 drives, 3 now, 3 times in a row. Was it just execution on the part? Was there anything specifically that started going together?
No, I thought our coverage was better. I mean, it was tighter, and we were able to get a little pressure there. So I thought that was a big thing.
Which how important is the depth along the defensive line? It seems like you guys are rotating a lot of guys through there. They've all seemed to make plays the last couple of weeks. How important is that to him to keep him fresh?
Yeah, so the rotation helps. And the last 2 weeks, it's been huge for us. And again, those guys work their tail off. They don't get much credit, and they go out and play their hinds off like that. Especially those interior guys, the inside two, in a 4-3 front or a nickel front. Now there's a lot of pounding going on. Those guys just kept the push on, which allows those outside guys to get the pressure that they got. So, yeah.
Patrick's numbers certainly suggest the game was not bothering him that much, but was there more of an emphasis this week to try and keep him in the pocket and try and keep him clean and not extenderize maybe as much as usual is?
How come you're the only one not sweating, dude? I'm like soaked. Huh? I'm going to get on your diet. All right. So I don't remember the question, but Patrick, I didn't change anything with his ankle. We just played. And listen, for him to push through it like he did, and he kind of blanked it out of his mind, and just that's the way he practiced, and that's the way he played today. And none of the players, you couldn't see any signs of weakness there. And at the same time, he got his treatment. Our doctors took care of him, and the trainer, Rick, did a nice job with him, and he spent a ton of time making sure he was ready to go.
Andy, can you say you saw anything different or new out of Patrick today, or are you same old, same old? Is that about what this has become?
Yeah, well, I never take it for granted. Some of these throws, I've told you this before, that some of these throws he makes, you go, all right, and we just buzz right through them, like happens every day. Well, it kind of does happen. It happens in practice, but that's what makes him unique. And the fact that he's willing to continue to work on his game, the way he does is also very important. In this league, if you let off an inch, then you're going to fall. And he stays right on top of that in everything that he does.
Just practice, the same thing. Go in there and practice, get yourself in shape, condition, and then translate from practice to the field. So it's been the same thing, just constant play. So
there was so much in the offseason at camp, Pat saying, just keep running. Just was it know that you kept running today, get your first touchdown?
Oh yeah, I definitely kept running. So I knew he gonna throw it eventually. But yeah, we just keep practicing that, man. Pat got an arm, so he could put it anywhere on the field. So as a receiver, when you know that, just keep running, look up, and just go get the ball.
What was said in the huddle or on the sideline in that first quarter where at least Oakland was keeping you guys pretty close, and then obviously you exploded in the second quarter?
I would just say, just keep playing, keep running your routes. Everything is called, no route is there. Just keep going. Eventually, it's gonna start opening up, and it did in the second quarter. And as you can see, that we came out there and exploded on the scene. So just keep playing, man. Keep trusting what coach gonna call, and everything gonna work.
Next man up is a cliche in the NFL, not next men up. And that's what you've got with the Kansas City Chiefs, including this guy, DeMarcus Robinson. What a game. Started with the 44-yard touchdown. What happened there?
Man, we just been going over those plays all week, and we know we didn't have Tyreek today, and we needed some players to step up, man. I got my number called, and I made a couple plays.
But you had a sense, there was almost a feeling you could have a big day today. Yes, what about your preparation?
Man, I knew I had a great preparation this week. I felt real good all week coming into the game, and I just needed to bring it over into the game.
Yeah, you had to be resilient because those first two series weren't very good. Punt, 10-0, now you're down. What about the toughness shown by this team, not just physically but mentally?
We just had to lock in, get ourselves composed, and go out and do it. We know what we're capable of doing, and that's what we did.
All right, so Mahomes goes nuts in the second quarter, thinking, well, maybe get a field goal, and then you're going to have possession to start the third quarter. Whoops, guess not. You go get another touchdown. What about that one right before the half?
Man, we actually just been practicing those moments all year, and we go over plays like that every day. Even if it's like 30 seconds left to 10 seconds left, plays that we can, put the ball in the end zone, and I was the one catching it in the end zone. Great ball by Patrick.
We talked about how Sammy prepared for this season, and last week it showed up. But you have also prepared for this year. What about your off-season, your OTAs, and your St. Joe time to get you ready for this moment and this time?
I knew this was my fourth year. Got to come out and make a couple plays, show the world what I can do, and put it on film. And that's what I'm capable of doing whenever my number is called.
And I got to ask you, Fish goes limping off on the first series. Yeah. You're thinking, oh, now Cam's got to do it. What about that situation?
Man, we got a lot of great O-line, man. They held it down for us today. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to get downfield like we do. And Cam did step up today, and we're thankful for that.
And finally, a chance to go home. It seems like it's been a long time. But what about now going to play the Ravens in a home opener at Arrowhead Stadium?
Man, we just need the fans to be there for us. We got great team Ravens coming in. We're going to bring it to them. We hope they bring it too. We want their best.
Yeah, no, there was times where I felt it a little bit, but we did a good job. The training staff did a good job of kind of helping me out all week to get me in the best possible condition, and I thought it held up well during the game, and we made some big plays.
What was it about that second quarter, that stretch run you guys had in that quarter?
We were just hitting on the plays. I mean, it was the same game plan as we kind of stayed with the same game plan, called the same plays. We hit on them in the second quarter, and we missed them in other parts in the game. And so, I mean, we had a great quarter, but as an offense, it was too much sloppiness, I guess you would say, and we weren't being efficient as we usually are.
Magic, no Tyreek today, but you had some other guys like D-Rob and Holthus that talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we roll as a team in general. It's just whenever guys get their opportunity, they step up and make plays. It's not soaking in like someone else that going down. It's about getting in and the next guy up mentality. But we're ready. Hopefully, get Tyreek back here soon. But at the same time, while he's not here, those guys are going to step up and play.
It seemed like there was a couple times you could have taken off and gone. Was there a conscious effort not to do that today?
Yeah, I mean, there was times where I kind of focused more on throwing the ball instead of running. Like I was going to try to block on that one with Damian and realized that probably wasn't a good idea. But it was, I mean, just trying to stay in the pocket, make things happen from there. I got a lot of skill positions. The O-line protected really well for me and kept me upright and kept me where I could just move around the pocket and make throws.
And you wasn't concerned at effort sometimes, like when you go to market is hidden, try to keep feeding them the ball, or do you still try to spread it around to get everybody else involved?
Yeah, I think that's one thing about this offense is I just go through my reads, and whoever's open is open, and I just try to give them chances to make plays. And I thought that they kind of focused on trying to take away Sammy after his big game last week, and it gave other guys opportunities to make plays. And so that was how we roll as an offense, is that whoever, like I said, every week it's someone else that makes plays. And so if we can keep doing that, then hopefully we'll keep having success.
Today was to shut down the running game today, but again, you can pick your poison and however the offense attacks the defense.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. They did a good job of stopping the run game. We figured out ways to have success with the pass, and so I mean there'll be weeks whenever the run game's where we need to go to, and the pass game is what's kind of stalling out on the field a little bit. And so when you have guys at every single position, you kind of just pick what they're trying to stop and just go with that they're not.
What was it about today's game that allowed DeMarcus to have the game that he did?
He just made the plays whenever the ball was thrown his way. I mean, he's a guy that's always going to be working. He's always going to be trying to get open. And when his number got called today, he made big plays. And I think that was something that he's done his whole entire career.
Patrick, just somebody who's been around it, I know you worked out in the offseason, just personally, what does it mean to you to see DeMarcus have that opportunity and for him to go out and take advantage of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome for sure. I mean, he's a guy that he kind of gets lost in the shuffle of things sometimes whenever he's a guy that's super talented and makes a lot of big plays happen. And, I mean, it's everything from catching the ball on scrambles, catching touchdowns, maybe being the last read across the middle of the field, or making the blocks and doing whatever he can to help his teammates out. And so when you have guys that play hard for each other and that they finally get their time to shine, it's always good to see that.
Patrick, just with Tyreek being out, obviously your biggest deep threat there, and it seemed like you consistently beat him deep down the field. Was there any sort of point that you guys still had that?
I don't think it was any point to try to prove that we could do it, I guess you would say, without Tyreek, but it was just running the offense the way we run it. I mean, that we're not going to change what we do. I mean, obviously we want Tyreek out there. He's a one-of-a-kind player, someone that's special on the field, but we're going to run our offense the way we run it, and guys are going to step up and make plays when their number's called.
Chiefs offensive lineman Cam Irving. Cam, I know going into this week going into this game with Eric being banged up on Friday, just how much mentally were you prepared to step in case he wasn't able to go?
I mean, every week, us as, backups, they tell us that, we're 6-7 starters because, any man can have to be in the game at any time. And, just prepare every week the same way as if you have to go in the game, regardless if you're not starting or not. So, that's one thing I've learned after being in the league for as long as I've been. So just being his next man up. So.
What clicked for you guys in the second quarter? I know the first couple of drives, you kind of didn't really get it going, and then once you got to the second quarter, it just seemed like everything started clicking.
Everybody just kind of had to settle in. Some games are like that. Everybody's used to us coming out and putting up at least a touchdown or two a quarter. So, to explode like that and then kind of lull a little bit in that second half, it was tough, but it's one of those things where it's a good check for us as the offense to just try to continue to go out there and maintain drives and just play and execute.
How does the mindset of you guys change offensively, knowing that Patrick might not be at 100% regarding his mobility with his ankle?
It doesn't change at all for us. We're aware of it, but the only thing it changes for us, we just want to consciously think about making sure that he doesn't have to run around a lot and he can sit in his spot and throw the ball. So, we knew it was a little banged up, but, he doesn't act any different, so we don't either.
What last question is just, what is it like? I know you've seen this movie before, but to see him, you give him a little bit of time, he gets see the ball down the field, starts making plays. Just what's it like for you as an offensive lineman to see that?
I'm sure you guys have heard this 1,000 times already by now, but Pat's just a special player, and just getting in there and making sure you get a body on a body, and those receivers are all on the same page with Pat. It's sky's the limit for this offense. So,
all right, congrats. Thank you.
People can get caught up in stats, but it's key defensive stops that maybe turn this game. Rashad Breeland with me now, one of the defensive heroes. I want to ask you about the first time to get a stop, because the first two drives they get 10 points. What flipped it?
We just kept with it. We knew coming in here it's going to be a hostile environment. We had to motivate ourselves to really go out there and get it done. But they came out, punch us in the mouth pretty early on, so we just took it and came back and tried to get the drives going.
I want to ask you, because Spags talked about this even all the way back to like OTAs, meaning I want to see how our guys will handle adversity. What answer did you give today?
We came back fighting strong. You see 10 points. We gave 10 points in the first half, and that's what we ended with. So the guys came together. You can see how this defense really growing together. Defense, D-line, secondary, and linebackers all meshing together. And we take pride in coming together.
So Oakland didn't quit. They're driving third quarter, goal to go, and you get the interception. Tell us about that play and what happened.
I kind of read the quarterback eyes. I knew it was going to be fade. He handed the ball up the first time going around. The receiver still ran the route. And they kind of gave each other that look, like, yeah, we might have this play. So I just jumped it. And he kind of gave up on it, and it was easy access to the ball.
How much of that is you being a veteran in this league, and how much of that is you preparing for this game?
A little bit of both, you know what I mean? Preparing for this game, we knew they would get phased, and 16 was his guy, especially in the red zone. They was going to try to throw jump balls to him at 83, and I was just ready for it. It was either a slant or a fade, and I guess right.
Nice guess, nice play. Exciting now to finally get to play a home game. Undefeated Ravens, here they come. And Jackson's been tough early. What about a chance to go back and finally play with the crowd at your back?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can't wait. Two hostile environments, Jacksonville and here. We finally go home and let them feed off the energy from Chief Kingdom. And we're just ready to get it done.
Coach, they come out, they hit you in the mouth there. Talk about the moxie of being down 10-0 and rebounding.
Well, John did a good job with his team there. I mean, they're ready at the beginning. A lot of energy, especially coming off that Monday night game. And I'm proud of our guys for not panicking and coming back and having a great second quarter.
Yeah, you had a historic second quarter. Was that a bunch of small, minute adjustments, or did you make some significant ones?
I think it was just a matter of the guys saying, we got to go. You know, I'd give the credit to the players there, and just they put their foot down and said enough's enough, and we got to play better, and so that's what they did.
Mahomes, great day, over 400 yards. I want to talk second week in a row you have a receiver with almost 200-plus yards. D-Rob, talk about Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, so Demarcus is a heck of a player. I mean, he's worked his tail off to know every position on the offense. He's a little bit of a Raider killer in there. You know, I mean, he just has big games against him for whatever reason. But listen, he stepped up big for us today, and he does every week. He's kind of the unsung hero. He does so much of the dirty work, and I'm just proud of him for where he was when we got him to where he is now, and the hard work that he's put in.
Your starting left tackle has an injury, a groin injury that he tried to battle through, couldn't make it a go. Cam Irving comes in, struggles a little bit, but he guts it out.
Yeah, he had a couple rough plays right at the beginning, and then he just kind of put it together and said enough. He's one of the guys that just said enough's enough, and we got to play.
Your defense continues to impress. You get pressure with just 4. I want to talk about the secondary. They just seem to be everywhere today.
Well, they were. Again, Derek's playing good football, Carr, and John's dialing him up, and they've got some good players. So we knew we'd have our hands full, but I thought that the defense in general just said that, you know, we're battening down the hatches, and here we go. And their coaches, Spags, and the coaches hung with them and kept dialing it up for them, and I just thought they did a nice job rallying.
Yeah, they refused last week. I know they thought 26 points was too much. They held the Raiders to 10. Your running game is one area at 30-plus yards. I know you want to do better there.
Yeah, I know we've got to do better, but, you know, like I said before, if you don't run the ball, you got to stop the pass too. So we went to our short intermediate game and dialed that up, and that loosened them up a little bit, and then we finished strong with the run.
Look, I know you don't follow stats, but I'd be remiss if I don't congratulate you on tying your 209th win. You tied Chuck Noll for 6th all-time. It's pretty impressive, Coach.
Yeah, Chuck Noll's pretty impressive. He's a good one. No, I appreciate it, Dan. Thanks.
Well, congratulations on the division win. What to get them. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chiefs get the victory here in the Coliseum. The last scheduled time the Chiefs are to be here with a 28-10 victory over the Oakland Raiders. I got to ask you, though, Eric Fisher tried to make a go of it. Injured in practice on Friday with a groin injury. Tried to go. He limps off the first drive. Now all of a sudden you're planning on him, and now you're kind of bailing water out of the boat. What about that situation and reacting to it?
Well, you know how rosters are, and to leave a man short when you talk about a position group, the offensive line, I think we're only 10 or 9 deep, and one guy to be missing after you plan on all week having him in there, then it makes another guy have to be a swing guy. And so now everybody's reeling. Cam Irvin's trying to figure out if he's going to be left tackle now. Who's the new backup guard if we need him? And then even the center position. So everybody has to kind of go to emergency mode on upcoming, making sure they're up to date on all the new plays, all the new communications, especially where we were at in that game. Down 10-0, losing your starting left tackle. It would have been easy to see how the Chiefs might have pressed the panic button, but there was no panic here in Chiefs Kingdom. The team picked up where they left off. Cam Irvin, I think he had one mistake on that RPO early on where he maybe did a pass block instead of a run block, and that led us for a tackle for loss. But after that, I think he was pretty much seamless for the rest of the day.
One thing that also cannot be lost here is the fact that Chiefs are now 22-3 against the AFC West over the past 4+1 game. For to have division dominance and for Andy Reid to do that and to take on Oakland's shot here. Oakland gave him a shot here, and they were able to counterpunch.
Man, they started off quick, started off fast. Gruden definitely gave Andy and Coach Spags his best punch on the offensive side of the ball. But eventually they played their hand. Once Andy figured out that Burfett was going to be man-on-man on our running backs, we did a couple of different shifts and motions that had him running across the field. And against man coverage, it was almost a mismatch from the snap, having him on Williams or having him on Shady McCoy, trying to keep them from getting first down. So those ended up being like gimme plays. And when you show your hand that easily and that often on the defensive side of the ball, with an offensive coordinator like Andy Reid and allow him to just draw up all kind of plays, you should have known that that second quarter was going to be something that was going to be magic.
Patrick Mahomes, I mean, it's easy to start taking him for granted now. If you look at it, for 7 touchdowns, no picks in the first 2 weeks, and he's top 5 in the history of the league after the first 2 weeks to start a season. But his ability to show toughness, his ability to show poise, his ability to find the guys that are breaking free and wide open, this was not an easy game for him. And yet, I think it's easy for me to underrate just how tough he is mentally and physically.
Yeah, early on we saw a couple routes where Nicole Hardman might have broke off an out route a little bit too early, or a little bit late, where we expected that to be a first down throw. And then early in the game, when Sammy Watkins was supposed to maybe go a little bit deeper on the route, and he broke it right across the field, and Pat missed him. But like a pro, he just coached him up on the field. He just told him a little hand signal. They gave him to the sideline. Let's clear it up. No ego, no MVP type. I'm the lead. No. Just, hey, guys, let's remember how we talked about this. And I think they got, obviously they got it taken care of because that second quarter was one for the books.
Now, it bears repeating, though, that the defense had its moments. We mentioned earlier in the show about Fuller's PBU, but I was starting to chart this. Frank Clark blows up the bubble. Playing the edge against the run, a negative run by Tano Passanio. He gets a sack later. Neiman, Breland play the run, get him behind the chains. Emmanuel Ogba was outstanding in this game. So was Okafor. You're getting a lot of dudes now that are helping, that help flip this game on the defensive side.
Man, that's what you want from a defense. It can't be just one guy making every play. So every 11 guys, all of them are part of that, that fist. All fingers need to make that fist powerful. And so our defense definitely did that. Everybody showed up, played their part, and overall in the entire game, in 3 quarters, you gave up 0 points.
Now it's time for 142.2 to take over. The Chiefs, for the second straight year, will be the last team to get to open at home. And they're going to open at home next week against the Baltimore Ravens, who are 2-0. But finally, to get to play at home, it feels like a long time because it's been since that San Francisco preseason game.
I know these guys are just eager and often ready to get back home, ready to play in front of that sea of red. Chiefs Kingdom, make sure you're loud, make sure they're coming early. Let the guys know how much you care and how much you really want them to come back to your stadium and play well at home.
He's Shawn Barber. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. Remember to check in with us for the Defending the Kingdom podcast. Go back and listen to the last one and why this game was even more important than you maybe thought.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.